Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, the Corporal, bringing you a Magic Hour video. For Halloween, I decided I'm going to talk about my favorite archetype, Archfiends. Yes, I'm a guy who plays Archfiends in Yu-Gi-Oh! Archfiends are an interesting archetype in that it really does show the difference between the TCG and the OCG, because in the OCG, they're not archetypes, they're something like themes, sub-themes, and all that. And while in the TCG, they're all connected into one category, even though they're not. So, for example, technically Archfiends are the first archetype because Summon Skull exists. And within his, because this being Yugi's signature card before he could start Magician. Yes, this used to be this. I know this is not the original. This is the alternate art one. I have the Metal Raiders one. I just want to flex. See, look, I don't even need to pull out this Red Dragon Archfiend Assault mode. I just want to flex, okay? But yeah, he is the original part of the archetype. There's also Fiend Skull Dragon, a deal with Dark Ruler, Lesser Fiend right here. See, it says he's always treated as an Archfiend card. Beast of Tall War. All those guys are Archfiends, but they were not connected with each other. And that shows the whole theming aspect of it. That they're not like related to each other. They don't share similar artworks and all that. Other than they're like demonic or skull related. Like one of them's a beaver. And it's supposed to be the Archfiend Nefarious. Archfiend Eater of Nefariousness is actually just a creature. It's just because it's just a creature that lives amongst these things and actually preys upon them too. If you look at the artwork of Nefarious Archfiend Eater of Nefariousness, is that he's eating the skull of Archfiend Soldier. Yeah, I don't even know how that's possible. But yeah, it's just because the term Archfiend is supposed to just mean demon in Japan. Okay, so this is like Summon Skull is supposed to be like Skull Demon. Archfiend Commander is Demon Commander and all that. So it's just like they're just generic demons, but some of them are just themed with each other. Like Lesser Fiend is just the lesser demon, and so he's just not part of the group. And these cards were powerful in that they were beat sticks back in the day. So, like back in the day, Summon Skull was meta because he took out Jinzo. He was a single tribute monster that was 100 points stronger than Jinzo and all that. And he was better than Dark Magician back in the original day because he's a single tribute monster. Now, he's like the weakest of the Archfiends. He doesn't fit with their archetype, even though he's Yugi's signature card. And he's, he used to be Yugi's signature card. And he's also just as iconic. He's really cool. So, but he doesn't get the support. I wish he got the support that Dark Magician got, like just all that stuff to summon Skull. But no, I don't know why. I think it's there's like some kind of strategy behind Archfiends that make it so that this deck would be too good if they didn't limit them down to stuff. But they limit them down so hard. Like Summon Skull got all these extra deck retrains. Like his ritual monster is actually pretty good. But you don't really run anything Archfiend related in a deck with him other than Commander. His Fusion variant is also really cool. And it's the most heavy metal looking card there is. I just want to run him just because of how metal that is. Look at that. Look how metal that is. Look at that. Doom music is playing right now. Okay? He even has a Synchro, but you can't even summon the Synchro using Summon Skull. So all of them float into Summon Skull, but you can't even use the Synchro with him. He should have been a level 8 Synchro, and they should have given us a tuner. And all that. They should have been all upgrades of Summon Skull. Even the XYZ, it's just a wind-up Zen mains and all that, which the Archfiends are better off using Zen mains instead of using this guy. So I wish they'd just give us a retrain on Summon Skull. Well, they have. Scrap Archfiend, Red Eyes Archfiend of Lightning, Skull Archfiend of Lightning, Tune Summon Skull, those are all retrains. So yeah, so Archfiends can run Tune Table Content Engine, and because of their Link monster, Master King Archfiend, you can use Toon World in the deck and actually get a free mill off of it because you're paying life points. And Master King Archfiend requires life point payment for his effects. So you can actually run Toon World. You don't even need to run the Toon Summon Skull, but you could run Toon World, summon him, and then go like, okay, mill this, use his effect and all that stuff, get a search. And Toon Summon Skull can technically facilitate some plays because his effect is a special summon. So having him and Toon World and all that could like help you get into a good link board and all that, because if you go tour guide into him, you could effectively just do the mill, possibly summon Eris Tribute, go into that, go into a link 3, and so on and so forth, depending on what you're using. But it's like, again, it's like there's better options for that. You could use the Redstone of Legend. That was actually a deck idea where you use Red Resonator, special summon the Red Stone, and then you could special summon him in instant level 8 synchro. But it's weak to Ash Blossom. And he also he's a Gemini. That's just terrible. They also work with Labyrinth. They have a Labyrinth on them. You can work with Transmodify. They have the level 8 version with Archfiend Emperor. Where is he? He's right here. He's in the deck box. I forgot to take him out. Give me a second. You have so many... The level 8 version of the deck, where it's just... You run a Dark Spirit of Banishment and all that. That is probably the best version because it has so many searchers, like with Doomdog, Orthros, and all that. You have a mini Master Hyperion right there. So there's that. Let's get on. And then you have Red Dragon Archfiend version, which uses the resonators, and it's not really like it uses an Archfiend engine and all that until they made Bone Archfiend. So Bone Archfiend is by far one of the best and worst cards for Archfiends, because this fixed every single Archfiend archetype except for one problem. You can only summon Dark Dragon Synchro monsters for the rest of the turn if you use his effect. If that was not there, he was the solution to every problem. Because with his effect, if this card's in your hand or graveyard, you can send one other card from your hand or field to the graveyard, special summon this card. Also, you cannot special summon for an extra deck, blah, blah, blah. You can target one face-up monster you control that has a level, send one Fiend Tuner from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, increase or decrease that monster's level by 1. You can only use the effect of Bone Archfiend once per turn. So, the idea is you're supposed to go into Red Rising Dragon and all that stuff with this thing. Or Red Dragon Archfiend, just with different combos and all that. If he did not have that one clause, sorry, I was reading it again. If it did not have that one thing, it would have been perfect. Okay. Because you could have just sent Fiendish Rhino Warrior, mill this, and all that. You could normal summon Terra King Archfiend off of that special summon, which fixed Chess Archfiends. With Pal Labyrinth, the field spell, you could just normal summon the Archfiend Emperor, special summon him, freaking get rid of him for another level 8 Archfiend. You could just summon him with the special summon Bone Archfiend, tribute him for Archfiend Commander, bring back another level 6 in defense position, which is another problem. Like, if Commander can't attack the turn, he special summon, and he summons something in defense position when you tribute summon him. So there's the problem. This deck is a beatdown deck. Everybody's a big boss that just wants to beat up the opponent. And they don't have, like, access to things. So that's a shame. And also, I kept forgetting that the mill is for tuners, which sucks, because if the mill was for anything other than tuners, that would have been really, really good. and all that. So it would have been I think, let's see, Vision Resonator. I have one right here. The card is normal or special summon. You can add 104 lower fiend monster from your deck to your hand. Okay, so he searches him. Except Soul Resonator. Also, you cannot special summon except dark synchro monsters. If a card you control will be destroyed by card effect while you control Red Dragon Archfiend secret, you can banish this card. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. And let's see, Vision Resonator. Yeah. Vision Resonator does what Bone Archfiend should have done. You just have a high level monster, special summon him. So again, you could just summon out Mist Archfiend. Normal summons, 2400 attack powered monster. Just him, level 7. Which could be Power Tool Dragon, because Archfiends have one of the best spell cards in the game with Falling Down. An equipped spell that steals a monster. It's a Snatch Steal, so long as you control an Archfiend. And all that. Or just, again, you just summon out Emperor, you could summon out the Vision Resonator, banish the Vision Resonator, have another level 8 on board. It's just that good. And it's like, what is the best version of the deck? Well, if you're running the Synchro version, there's no reason to run any other Archfiend. Just run the Red Dragon deck. Just buy 3 of the structure decks, there you go. You have what you need. But if you're running like a main deck version, that changes things, because you don't need the extra deck if you're running main deck. Because effectively you have this guy. He activates several of the virus cards effects because he has the qualification, but when he's normal summoned, his attack is cut in half. Well, just having 3 Vision Resonators and Bone Archfiend, you effectively have you effectively have 2 of these guys on the field, and the Empress, and all that. And if you have and you could just discard a freaking Dark Spirit, a banishment, special summon him, and you have Hollow Labyrinth, go into another level 8 by banishing him. He pops. You get that Dark Spirit back to your hand. You have a full-blown, full-powered level 8 Archfiend. There you go. But there's another thing. There's another Archfiend card in this deck. They have access to Annihilator Archfiend, which isn't that good. But he makes for a good Stygian Street Patrol target. But all he does, he's a Scrap Dragon. He's just Scrap Dragon for Archfiends. And he becomes stronger if you use his effect. He's not good, but you can effectively change him to a level 9 with Bone Archfiend's effect and summon out Annihilator Archfiend, which is so cool that you could do that. And another neat thing you can do is there is the fusion variant. You can run Red Dragon Archfiend, go into the different Red Dragon fusions, which is stupid because why would you do that? You could just summon Red Eyes Dragoon. You don't need to do that. That's the problem with Archfiends. They don't have like a big thing to go into that is game breaking. They have big boss monsters that are beat sticks, but they don't have a dude like Terror King Archfiend was good back in the day because when he destroyed something, they got their effects negated, and that's still a pretty good effect. Like I was using him against Burning Abyss and all that, and they just couldn't do anything because. And now he's so much easier to summon. You could get 2 of them on board. But again, it's like, is there really anything nowadays that does anything involving that? Like battle recruiters? We even got the first... Archfiends had the first hand trap with Desrook Archfiend. When he dies, you could send him to the graveyard to bring him back. He had like a recursion to him. And I was running this guy in Chaos Archfiends. I tried rebuilding that with the new Chaos stuff. It does not work, but it was so fun. Tour Guide. Back when Tour Guide was at 3. I think it's at 3 now. Yeah, it's at 3 now. But at the time, it was at 1. But before it went to 1, Tour Guide into him. Go into a XYZ. Links made it a lot easier. Go into an XYZ. And you would summon out Blackluster Soldier, Chaos Sorcerer, and all. That was so much fun back in the day. They even have an FTK. They even have a wind monster. The original Archfiends had a wind monster. I was running him in the side deck against Flunderies. They have a lockdown with Vilepun Archfiend. They have one of those little you can't attack anything lockdowns. They have Infernities. They even have a cyber monster that is in the cyber archetype, surprisingly. The familiar possessed ones, if you run spellcasters, you got that. They have so many things. They even have a monster that works in the Dark World. They have a skilled red magician and all that, and it's just is kind of a shame that these guys just don't get like that one card they need. They have a pendulum monster, one of the best pendulum monsters in the game, Archfiend Eccentric. What is there? But there's no other pendulum monster to go with. There would have to be like a scale of 2. And if they did, you could use Archfiend and Guildford to create an infinite loop with Archfiends. And have this crazy board. And all their effects are based off being destroyed. And it really isn't like, oh, destroy a card, special summon a card kind of thing. Like Clear New World. So, I'm honestly thinking one of the best strategies with Archfiends right now, it's just running a main deck one, like Pot of Extravagance, and going into Bone Archfiend, like even sending Archfiend Emperor to special summon Bone Archfiend, but then chaining a deal with Dark Ruler, and getting Berserk Dragon onto the board. Yes, Berserk Dragon is not an Archfiend, but deal with Dark Ruler is actually a deal with the Dark Demon. So you can summon Berserk Dragon super easily. You link summon using him, bring out Berserk Dragon. It does work that way. So you got a card that attacks everything on board. And it also shows that it's a turn 2 deck. Turn 1, all you do, set your viruses, set your skill drain, pass. And everything. Turn 2, just use the Dark Ruler no more. Kind of ironic. Go into Berserk Dragon. That's how I'm going to try to run the deck now. It's just like revolving around, probably running 3 Bone Archfiend, 3 Vision Resonator, Paddle Labyrinth, level 8 guys. That's pretty much the monster lineup. And the Berserk Dragon. I probably would run Trade In as well. Just go with that and go in like the U.S. Marshals. But just nuke the board, go in. And if I'm going to go into Synchros, I'm going to run in Sacred Red Dragon and stuff like that. I got this Sparta. I got the Crimson Dragon. I got all those guys to go into King Calamity just to be that guy. But thank you all very much. Oh, wait. Thank you all very much. I hope you all have a happy Halloween. I went as the Shadow. What evil lies in the hearts of men? The Shadow knows. I might post my costume. Did I do the advertising? Buy my book. Okay. Thank you all very much. You all have a nice day. Bye-bye.